Hi everyone, welcome to the today's episode where we talk about one of the important topics in Andhra Pradesh, that is future of the Vizag Steel Plant. Is it really running at a loss, or is it being deliberately weakened for privatization? More importantly, why are political parties not taking a firm stand? Let's break it down. The Vizag Steel Plant is not just another industry. It is the result of people's movement. In the early 1960s, the government of India planned to set up a steel plant in South India. While Tamil Nadu and Karnataka were considered, Andhra Pradesh was initially ignored. This led to massive protests across the state. The slogan Visakha Ukku, Andhrula Hakku became the battle cry of thousands. The agitation intensified in 1966 when students and activists took to the streets demanding the plant to be set up in Vizag. Tragically, the protests turned violent and 32 protesters were shot dead by police in one of the biggest sacrifices for industrial development in India. Public sentiments grew stronger and leaders like Tenneti Vishwanathan and Gautu Lachanna led delegations to Delhi pressuring the government. Finally, Prime Minister Indira Gandhi announced the establishment of Vizag Steel Plant, recognizing the sacrifices of Andhra's people. However, the fight wasn't over. The state government had to acquire 32,000 acres of land, and thousands of farmers gave up their lands without compensation, believing that the plant would provide jobs and economic growth for future generations. Today, after decades of struggle and sacrifice, the same plant is being pushed towards privatization. The Modi government claims it is a loss making entity, but employees, unions, and opposition leaders argue that the plant is being deliberately weakened. Here is the success story of Vizag Steel in 2021-22. Despite of the claims of losses, Vizag Steel Plant demonstrated remarkable performance in the financial year 2021-2022. The revenue growth recorded its highest ever turnover of 28,215 crore, an increase of 56% compared to the previous year. When it comes to the profitability, the plant achieved a cash profit for the first time in years, proving that it's not permanently loss-making entity. There is a production milestone where steel plant produced 5.77 million tons of hot metal, 5.27 million tons of liquid steel, and 5.14 million tons of saleable steel, setting new records. Visakha Steel Plant successfully increased its export market share, selling significant quantity overseas despite facing competition from private players. This success raises questions about why the government is still pushing for privatization when the plant has shown the potential to be profitable under the right conditions. Let's try to understand the root cause. The biggest reason for Visakha Steel Plant losses is its lack of captive iron ore mines. Tata Steel, JSW, and SAIL have their own mines, so they get raw materials at a lower cost, whereas Vizag Steel Plant has to buy iron ore at market rates, making production costly. Despite repeated requests, the central government has never allocated captive mines to Visakha Steel Plant. Recently, 11,440 crores was allocated, but no mines were given. This shows a push towards privatization rather than long-term sustainability. Why is the center not giving captive mines? To protect private interests? If Vizag Steel Plant gets captive mines, private steel companies will face competition. There are allegations that corporate lobbying is influencing policy decisions. Without access to its own raw materials, Vizag Steel Plant will continue to make losses, making privatization seem inevitable. Most mines are under central authority, and instead of allocating them directly to the government companies, the center is auctioning them to private firms. Despite of multiple requests, state government have failed to pressurize the center effectively. This is the truth. The Vizag Steel Plant has faced significant operational challenges recently, notably a shortage of coal and financial constraints. These issues have raised concerns about a potential shutdown, which some fear could pave the way for privatization. The proposed privatization had also sparked protests from farmers who had originally donated land for the public sector steel plant. Feeling betrayed, these farmers demanded the return of their lands if Vizag Steel Plant is privatized. At the end of the day, every politician, be it from TDP, YSRCP, and Janasena or BJP, has played their part strategically to ensure that no real progress was made in securing captive mines for Vizag Steel Plant. Despite of public outrage, employee protests, and repeated election promises, nothing substantial has changed. The same leaders who once stood on podiums declaring their commitment to Vizag Steel Plant are now either silent or offering token resistance. If MLAs and MPs who won on public votes cannot fight for the survival of a steel plant that fuels thousands of families, what purpose do they serve? If these leaders continue to protect private interests over public welfare, do they even deserve another chance at governance? If they cannot ensure the future of Vizag Steel Plant, what guarantee do we have that they will stand up for Andhra Pradesh future in other critical matters? The people of Andhra Pradesh once fought and sacrificed their lives to bring this steel plant to Vizag. Will today's leaders show even a fraction of that courage to save it, or will they remain mute spectators while a historic industry is handed over to the private hands? The choice is now in the hands of the people. The fight is not over unless we allow it to be. What do you think? Is it time for Andhra Pradesh to demand accountability? Share your thoughts and let's keep this conversation going. Thanks for listening.